Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and my face has nothing on it except foundation. If you clicked on this video looking for what I'm into, you're in the right place. If you clicked on this video looking for a get ready with me, you're in the right place. I decided to do a little something different this month, talking about the things I've been into, mainly the books and the things I've been watching. While I do a little get ready with me using the products in my monthly makeup basket and my Pan Those Eyeshadows. So if this is something you are interested in, then hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. Okay, so I have used my Hydra Touch primer to prime all over my face. I have my Wet n Wild Mega Last to prime my eyelids. And then under my eyes, I have concealer. This is the Purlisse BB Concealer in Fair. And then I combine that with the L'Oreal Magic Skin Beautifier BB Cream in Fair because this oxidizes a little bit too dark for me. So I combine the two together and have those on. And I think it's a pretty good match. What do you think? Okay, so that is what I've got down. I've got my base. Let me throw those out of the way because we got a lot of other products to work with. So we're going to start with my cream blush that I'm working on, which is actually the ColourPop Lippie Stick in the shade Cami. I am using this as a cream blush because it's not my favorite formula for my lips. And, you know, why not use it as a cream blush? So I just draw a line and smudge it in. And the thing about the L'Oreal BB cream is it's like self-setting. I have not powdered or anything, but my face is pretty, it's a little tacky, but it's pretty much set. So this is blending in a little harder than I normally because usually I do this right after applying my foundation. But I had technical difficulties. My recording stopped. And my computer decided to reboot. So yay, me. Anyway, so we're just applying this on. It does look quite a lot. But trust me, it's not going to be that intense. In a minute, my phone is ringing, but that's okay. We're just going to let it go to voicemail. And then just a dab on my nose. Give that a little bit of rosy glow. All right, I feel very hobbity. I feel like this side has more than this side. So let's add just a little bit more. And I just kind of blend it all the way up to my temples and along my cheekbone. Trying to make sure all the edges are blended so there's no harsh edges. All right, and then we're going to go over all of that with my Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. And as I said, this is a self-setting skin tint BB cream. But I like to set the cream blush and powder my lids, although right now they're doing pretty good. It has been quite warm yesterday. I think it was the warmest we've had here in Seattle this year. I think it got up to 92 degrees. Today's not so bad, but I do have a fan on. And just powdering over that really tones down that blush. So as you can see, that side's quite intense still, and that's pretty blended in. So that's why I was like, don't worry if it looks intense right now. Just apply a little powder and we're going to buff it into the skin. Some people do the cream blush under their foundation. I generally forget, so I usually do it on top. And yeah, that just blends it in, and so it's not so intense. And there we go. Do my forehead, although my hair's there. I don't put much makeup on my forehead anymore now that I'm wearing bangs, so yeah. All right. I'm excited because tomorrow I have a virtual appointment with my doctor to talk about hormones. Because if you've been here for a while, you may have heard me complaining about scalp issues and other things, and hot flashes. Basically, I'm pretty much entered menopause. I had my last menstrual cycle, TMI, in December. And we haven't really talked about anything, and I'm kind of ready to like start talking officially about like, you know, should I do hormone replacement? I think that sounds like a good idea. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But today is today. So, all right, that is done. Now we're going to go to bronzer. And if you watched my makeup basket, I have my bronzer and my highlighter are both from my Marvicorn. If you haven't watched it, I will link it up in the cards for you. You can go take a look. So I am using this shade here, 8000, as my bronzer, and my highlighter is this one here called Living the Life. So let's get those on. The bronzer actually isn't as pigmented as it looks in the pan, in the palette. So we're just going to dab it on and blend. Because I think technically it's designed as a highlighter for darker skin tones, but I don't have a dark skin tone, so we use it. There's no mouse in my pocket because I don't have any pockets today, but I use it as a contour or a bronzer, I guess would be more. It is a bit glittery that I keep tapping it off to make sure I get most of the glitter off and just stick with the color. Yeah, it just gives a little bit. It's very subtle, I think, in my opinion. So yeah. What else is going on? So let's start talking about what I've been watching. So last month I talked about I kept putting off The Last of Us. I finally finished watching season 2 of The Last of Us, and I was surprised at how they did it. I was curious because having watched playthrough of the game, I haven't actually played the game, but I've watched playthrough. I was curious how they were doing it. And then once I watched it, I was like, oh, because they were missing half of the story. Well, that's next season. Assuming there is a next season, which I'm guessing there is because, you know, how could they not? So yeah. And then I also wanted to see how realistic they portrayed Seattle. And I have to say, one, it's not filmed in Seattle at all. It's filmed in Vancouver for the most part, as far as I know. There are some landmarks in Seattle that are, you know, definitely there's like B-roll to indicate that it is Seattle, but the other majority of it, not really Seattle. So yeah, that's that. All right, I think that's good. Nice light bronzing. And then we're going to go in my blush. It is the Pacifica Mineral Blush in Wild Rose. So yeah, a little bit sad, but I was kind of surprised when I was like, oh, that's the end of season 2. Like, I was expecting more, and yeah. So I finished season 2 of The Last of Us. Wah, wah, wah. Now I don't know what I'm going to watch. Well, I do know what I'm watching. Then, once I finish that, I went to the next available show that I've been watching, which is Blind Spot on Netflix. The Last of Us is on Max, and Blind Spot on HBO, or on Netflix. And I watched several more episodes. I'm still in season 1. I finished episode 11 of season 1. I don't know how many episodes there are in the season. So yeah. All right, now I'm going into Living the Life, the highlighter, also another glittery shade, and highlight that. Just gives a nice subtle peachy glow. Peach is not my favorite, but it works. I think those work nicely. A little bit on the nose. I just have to always remember to tap it off. They are quite intense and quite glittery. A little bit under the lip and the chin. I used to do over my eyes on my forehead, but yeah, can't really see up there now, so we'll just do it anyway. There we go. Okay, so that is the base makeup done. The cheeks are a little, you know, blushy, but I always feel like my blush seems to disappear, so I'm not worried about it. Okie dokie. Let me make some room. Okay, made a little bit of room, and I was getting ready to put the Marby corn away, and I'm like, no, we're not done with it. I still have to do my eyebrows. So I like to start with my base, my face colors, and then I go into my eyebrows to sort of frame everything. Having bangs gets a little bit tricky, but we're gonna go with it. I might grab my hair clip. Okay, I've been clipping my hair sort of like that when I'm like styling it. Today I let it air dry with just some leave-in conditioner. I've been using my Beach Matte, and it seems to be really working. It's holding the curls quite well. That curl is escaped. Also, I noticed this eyebrow. Apparently I raised this eyebrow more than the other one because it is permanently like slightly higher, and I have wrinkles, creases there that I don't have over here. So who knows? Anyway, yeah, I've been using my Got2b Beach Matte styling paste, and I've been liking it. It's working really nicely. I put it in and scrunch it up, put a little clip in there, and then let it dry and like zhuzh it. And my hair like does not move. It just stays. The thing I don't like, it does have kind of it feels like it has product in it, which I don't like so much, but I'm getting used to. Yeah, so going into Breakdown and Spray Tan, mixing those together on my eyebrow brush. I think this is actually an eyeliner. I don't know. This is from Estate. It is the EEL03. So I'm guessing Estate and then EL eyeliner. But I like it as a brow brush. So, I mean, you can use it for any, you know, you can use any makeup brush for anything you want that works for you. And just kind of define the shape, color it in a bit, a little bit darker. My hair is tending to be darker than my brows, as you can see. So, and most of this actually is my natural salt and pepper. I did have some temporary color on after I cut my hair, but feels like it's pretty much washed out. I think it's because of the scalp treatment I'm using for my psoriasis. Just kind of washed all the color away. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm using a salicylic acid, and it seems to be helping. And then I'm also double washing. And yeah, my scalp is getting much better. I'm also, next Friday, I have my dermatologist appointment. Finally. Never knew it was so hard to get into a dermatologist, but apparently there are a lot of people with skin issues, I guess, because all the dermatologists around me were booked out for months, and it took me a couple months to find a dermatologist that was even accepting patients and would accept my insurance. And I'm having to go quite a ways away from home to see this doctor, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit, and we'll start working on the eyes. Is that too close? Also, I feel like my resolution is very bad. So let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. Sorry, I am looking to upgrade my webcam to get better, or use my phone, hook up my phone to my recording software to get better resolution on my videos, because I've noticed they're not the best. I'm working on it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Be patient. Okay. Oh, I almost put the Marvicorn away again, but I want to use my flotter, the matte kind of creamy brown. It's not cream, but it's kind of a light mocha. And I like to put that up in my brow bone in transition, just to give a little something up there to blend into, because otherwise my eyeshadows do not blend very well. But yeah, I'm watching Blind Spot and I'm really enjoying it. And that's all I've been watching, besides a lot of YouTube and actual play tabletop role-playing games. So like people playing tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons and such. Okay, so yeah. All right, now moving on. So we're going to move into the Glamlight Hershey's Kisses Special Dark. This is in, we're going to start with this shade right here, number 5. It is in my Hand Those Eyeshadows. And we're going to go in with, let's find a good brush and have my little color switch here. Make sure it's clean. It looked clean, but it was in my used brushes, so who knows what color I used it for. And I'm gonna go for something interesting. Hopefully it works out. Otherwise it'll look like, you know, crud. But I'm gonna go with the dark purple in my crease. And we'll talk about books next while I work on this. So last update, it looks like, according to my notes, I was reading The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore, which is book number 4 in the Legend of Drizzt series. And I finished that. I really did enjoy that. There are a lot of books in that series, and I want to get around to reading all of them at some point. But that one I enjoyed quite a bit. And then after that, I went for something else that's on my bookcase that I picked up, I think, pretty sure somebody just left it in that building. There are a lot of people who move out, and sometimes they just leave stuff in the hall. And at one point there was somebody who left a bunch of books, so that's where I grabbed them. I had that's where I got the T.S. Spivet, and I'm pretty sure I got this one there. It's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a classic by Jules Verne. This was a Barnes & Noble's, collection one, so I read that. I was not very impressed. I gave it 3 stars. It was not quite the adventure I thought it was. It was more of a scientific classification, cataloging of sea life. Like, there was a lot of, we saw this thing and that. I don't even remember, like, most of them were Latin names, and I don't even remember. I just kind of, like, guessed. It didn't even really, when you see a word and you don't know how to pronounce it and you just kind of read it and don't really pronounce it in your head, I did a lot of that. And, like, I wasn't sure what it was. And, like, I think that's a coral, and I think that's an anemone, and I think that's some sort of seaweed, and then that's some sort of fish. I mean, he gave some more elaborate descriptions of some of these items, but some of them I was like, what? And some of the bigger creatures I, like, had to look up to figure out what they were talking about. Like, what's a dugong? I've never heard of that before. But then I looked it up and it's like, oh, okay, it's like a manatee. Like, okay. Cool. It's like, sure. So there was a lot of that, and then there was a lot of, we're on this latitude and we're on that longitude, and talking about, like, the currents of the ocean, and and sometimes he'd, like, say, we're off the coast of such and such country. Like, okay, I know where they are in the world, but then they're like, we're at latitude this and longitude this, and I'm like, where the hell are you? Like, and I wish there had been a map included so I could like track it along, but like I was like completely lost until he gave like a landmark. I was like, oh, that's where you are. So yeah, I mean, there were some adventures in the book. It's not, you know, all scientific stuff, but the majority of it, pretty scientific. I did not enjoy it so much. And it made me thinking, like, being Jules Verne, I was like, oh, maybe have I read, you know, Journey to the Center of the Earth? And then I went back to my Goodreads, and yeah, I have read it, and I gave it a 4-star. So I don't remember if it was quite as scientific or if it had more adventure in it, but yeah, I was not impressed with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And my current book is called The Lymphatic System Handbook. It's a new, well, this copy is published recently, and with everything going on in my health and hormones and stuff, I'm like, you know, I'm always striving to be take better care of myself. So I thought this would be kind of a cool book to read. So I'm reading it, and also has like a subtitle of treatments and remedies and, you know, how to work your lymphatic system yourself kind of thing. So I was like, sure, that sounds like a good idea. So I'm reading that. I got that from the library. So far, it's okay. It's the beginning is descriptions of how the lymphatic system works, where, you know, and all that. So I'm trudging my way through that. I'm not an expert in human anatomy. Right. I just decided I'm going to do a little bit of Organized AF, this dark green on my lower lash line. I was going to do the purple, and I'm like, no, let's in a different color. So I'm just using this brush from Eco Tools. It is a micro smudge brush. It's what I use to smudge eyeliner. Alright, trying not to get this in my waterline. I got a lot on that eye, apparently. This is such a dark shadow, and it is kind of loose, and I ended up picking out way too much of it. Okay. Let's clean that off, and then use it as a smudger, and see if we can soften this up a bit. So yeah, that's what I'm looking. I think next I'm going to go back and read something from Orson Scott Card from the Alvin Maker series. I have book 3 called Prentice Alvin. I want to read that. I'm in a very kind of weird Western mood, and that's what it is. Otherwise, in life, not much is going on. I did have an audition for a role-playing show. I haven't heard back, but, you know, I still am optimistic, and it's inspired me to go onto a website that does casting for voiceovers, and I decided I haven't been on there since like 2021, I think. So yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm trying to get back into doing voice acting. So over the lid, my shimmer, I'm going to do, this is Envy from Medusa's Makeup, and I think I'm just going to apply it with my finger over the lid. It's really pretty. A little green and purple action. These are like, if it doesn't look good, you know, but I think it is going to look good, and I think it does look good. All right. And then we'll come back with the purple and just blend that in a little bit. I want to do a purple shimmer on the outer corner. Or just leave it as the matte. I've been watching, so going to makeup videos, I've been watching a lot of glitter fallout. Well, not a lot, but I recently been watching glitter fallout. What's the name of her channel? Batty Bean and Angelica Nyquist. More of their tutorials and giving me some new ideas on how to play with my eyeshadows in different ways. And I got this idea from them, kind of all of the combine of them. I like Batty because she has similar eye shape that I do, but I like some of the aesthetics from the others. So that's where I'm going with it. I think this turns out really nice. I think it could use something softer. I have, let's see, should we bring in a little softness from this guy? This brush, I think. So I try and use the other shades in the palettes while I'm using them for Pando's eyeshadows, but I don't always. And I'm just going to go, I'm going into this light one right here. I'm just going to blend that on the edge. I think that's going to look okay. I think that looks good. I just realized, like, oh, I put green down there and now I'm putting purple. That's okay, whatever. Just a little of that. I think that looks good. It's like I'm always trying to get more color up there on my brow bone, but it's okay. I wanted to grab my inner corner. I grabbed it and then I put it down. What am I? Menopause brain. I'm like, what am I putting on my inner corner? I'm going back in with Envy in the inner corner because it is bright enough that I like it on the inner corner as well. And I'm using this because it's in my Throwback 30, and I need to get uses on it before the end of the month when the project is over. I have like 2 uses I need to get, so now I only have 1 more use to do. And I wanted to get some more use on the purple. Okay, I think that's good. So now we're going to do Tightline, and this is the Maybelline Color Tattoo eye stick in, I can never remember the name of this one. And it is so, is like the print is in gray on black packaging. So the color is I Am Rebellious. It's black. And I'm going to use this, hopefully, I think I did this once before. Use this to tightline. It does have a sharpener, but it doesn't get super pointy. So we're just gonna tightline. I always used to say I can't tightline my upper lashes, but after repeated practice, I can do it now. I'm kind of excited. I think it makes things look pretty good. It improves the look. All right. And as for actual upper lash line, here it is. I have this eyeliner, eyeliner, yeah, from Eco Tools. It's a flat eyeliner, and I'm going to go back into Breakdown, which is the black here. I just have to be careful not to get this on my eye, not the color stick. And I'm just going to tap that along the upper lash line, mainly in the outer 2/3. Just about the same amount that I did the tight line. Okay, I think that looks good. And then I'm gonna make sure some things that I put on my upper waterline, hello, focus, there we go, don't like to play nice and stay there. They transfer to my bottom waterline, so that one seems to be okay if I leave it alone. And then for the bottom waterline, we're just going to come in with white. That is the eyeliner I picked for this month, and it's nice at opening it. Definitely after, in case you're wondering where my Divine Kajal pencil is, I finished it. And after using that on all over on my waterlines, I kind of miss it. But I have picked up a new black eyeliner, so I don't have to use my color stick all the time. But for now, we're using the color stick. So do that. Okay, let me grab setting spray. I'm just using the Ulta Beauty Dewy Glaze setting spray. This is just a little deluxe. Okay. Let that set. And then we're going to do lips. Let me zoom you back out a little bit. There you go. Alright, so I think that's everything I talked about. I didn't really have anything jump out to me this month for food or drink. Alright, and this is the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Pencil in Plum and Get It. Just kind of put that all over. Alright, mascara. In my makeup basket, I told you the last mascara that was going out. I forgot to tell you the new one that I brought in. This is from Wet n Wild. Is their Mega Protein Mascara in very black. I'm actually really liking this. I'm thinking of picking up another one. It's a small size, so I don't worry about, it going bad and having a ton of it. The brush is quite nice. And I think it does a good job of coating, lengthening, and separating my lashes. Alright, lashes done, and then finally the last step, where'd it go? Is I'm putting on the LA Color lip color in, what's Grape Crush? Yes. And it's just sort of a purple metallic tinted balm. Oh, take my hair clip down now. Alright. Now I have extra bouncy bangs. And zhush, 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 zhush. Okay, there we go. That is my look. So yeah, tell me what you think. What are you reading? Are you on hormone replacement therapy? And do you think it's worth it? All of those things. So until my next video, don't forget to first, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget to take care of yourselves. Stay true to you. And I love you no matter who or what you are. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.